of MKVA.
But the MKVA was disbanded by the ANC, Carl.
The African National Congress, in terms of the ANC's own constitution, has no right to disband MKVA. I'm coming now out of a meeting of the National Executive of MKVA. It was an extended National Executive Committee meeting with all the chairs and secretaries of MKVA also present in that meeting. Various decisions were taken there. First of all, to answer your question about the suspension of MKVA, the National Executive of MKVA reaffirmed that they do not accept that suspension. MKVA is an autonomous association. MKVA is not a league like the Youth League and the Women's League, and the ANC has no legal authority to suspend MKVA. Therefore, the National Executive of MKVA reaffirmed that it will continue to proceed as MKVA, will continue to do its work, it will continue to service the members of MKVA who are ex-military combatants of Umkhonto we Sizwe. MKVA's NEC expressed its concern that the African National Congress's National Executive is acting in an emotional and vindictive manner to try and suspend MKVA, and the belief is that this is the case because of the clear and unequivocal support that MKVA has given to President Jacob Zuma. The NEC of MKVA asked me to reaffirm their full support for President Zuma and also their opposition to President Zuma's arrest and imprisonment. They also asked me to convey their gratefulness to the members of MKVA who have been deployed by the National Executive of MKVA here at Nkandla. And the instruction is that that deployment must continue. With regards to my suspension, the National Executive of MKVA resolved the following. First of all, that I remain a full member of the National Executive and the National Working Committee of MKVA, and I remain the national spokesperson of MKVA. The message that I deliver to you now about MKVA's support for President Zuma and also MKVA's rejection of the disbanding of MKVA was officially given to me to deliver here by the National Executive Committee of the MKVA, which has just concluded their meeting a few minutes ago.
What do you make of your
with less than 4 hours left before the former president, the deadline expires for him to be arrested? Have you spoken to him? What is his mood?
President Zuma is always in a good mood. He is clear and determined about his position. I'm aware that his legal team, Advocate Dali Mpofu, is engaging with the authorities. I spoke to Advocate Mpofu a few minutes ago before I arrived here at Nkandla telephonically.
Will he be handing himself over to the police?
I cannot comment on that, but I do know that President Zuma had made it clear that he is not in favor of this arrest, and I can only speak on behalf of Umkhonto we Sizwe Military Veterans Association, which we have said consistently over months now, and again over this last weekend of the 2nd to the 4th of July, that we are fundamentally opposed to the imprisonment of President Zuma, and we will oppose that imprisonment with every possible legal means. We do not want to see violence. We do not want to see instability. We will not stoke violence and instability, but we will continue to oppose his imprisonment to the hilt. We believe that his constitutional rights have been trampled on. We believe that even this possible arrest tonight by the South African Police Service, when yesterday there was an application to the High Court in Pietermaritzburg, and there's also coming the 12th of July a presentation that is being made in front of the Constitutional Court, that all of those issues should be exhausted, and that the South African Police Service apparently wanting to rush in and arrest President Zuma is just a further indication of the vindictiveness against him and the lack of care and the lack of concern for the law.
But that's not true. They have an order to effect tonight.
Well, we have also said that yesterday there was an application. I'm quite sure that if there's political will, and there is also will and goodwill from the side of the South African police, there's no need to rush this attempted arrest of President Zuma. As Advocate Mpofo said in his presentation to the High Court yesterday, President Zuma is an elderly gentleman. He is a well-known person throughout the world. He is no flight risk at all. There is no need for this unseemly rush to come and arrest him. And if there's political will, this matter of a warrant of arrest can easily be dealt with and can easily be set aside.
But the judges who make that decision are not politicians. They're judges. They're supposed to actually apply the law.
Well, there is an application, as you know, to the judge, and yet there is also a rush by the South African Police Service, apparently, to effect an arrest. At the same time, you know as well as I do that there's absolutely no Chinese wall between politics, a governing party, and the courts. There is interaction, and I repeat again, if there is political will, this crisis can be totally averted, and this rush for an arrest tonight here at Nkandla, which is apparently what the intention is, I do not want to speculate beyond that, is not necessary. Yes, sorry?
Mr. Neihaus, let's talk about your defiance, quote unquote. Are you worried that more judges will be preferred against you by the ANC for your defiance stance here today? Are you worried that you could be
I'm not defying anything. I'm standing here in civilian clothes without any ANC insignia on my jacket. As you know me, I always have the ANC insignia, the ANC weapon on my jacket. I don't have it here tonight, so I accept that at least for a short period, temporary, I have been suspended by the ANC. My views about that suspension is that it is unjustifiable. My views about that suspension is that it was a rushed suspension because of the support of MKVA for President Zuma. But I'm not defiant. What I will do is to lodge my appeal against what I believe to be an unjustifiable temporary suspension tomorrow. I've already instructed my attorney. I've provided him with video footage of every single interview that I've given and every single statement that I've made during the period of the 2nd to the 4th of July, which is the period that is mentioned in the letter of temporary suspension by the African National Congress, NEC.
Mr. Neihaus, where is the former president now?
Can I take you first? Because
as you understand,
the gentleman has asked a few questions
as you
already.
understand, the state security guards protecting the former president have been asked to stop their duties right now. Does this mean that the MKMVA members now will now go in and protect the president as the SAPS is about to swoop in?
I told you that the MKMVA comrades who are here to support and protect President Zuma. I've also told you that that action will be taken in the context of the confines of the law. I'm not going to specify it further. but I've repeated ad nauseum many times in all my interviews during the last couple of days that we will abide by the law. There is nothing wrong for us to express our opposition to President Zuma's arrest. Our reasons for that opposition is well articulated. We've done so in many press statements, and I've done so in the last few days many times. And it is not wrong, and it is not incitement to violence to express our opposition to that attempted arrest of President Zuma. It is my right, which is a right to freedom of speech, and my organization's right to do so. And we will execute that right to the fullest. We have fought for freedom of speech. I myself have gone to prison for freedom of speech. Many of the members of Umkhonto weSizwe died in that fight for the freedom of speech. You wanted to ask a question.
Where is the former president currently?
I can't confirm where President Zuma is. It's not for me to confirm his whereabouts.
Have you seen him today?
No, I've not seen him.
Will you be going on to see him?
I don't know if I will see him.